Hi everybody, welcome to our next video in regards to equipment. This time we are going to expand more into set building. For this particular video, we will be talking about TP or attacking sets. Please note this video is not going to say you must use this specific equipment, as this video is going through stats that are commonly seen in TP sets to help you better understand of how these stats interact with the game mechanics. Let's dive into what TP sets actually are. This set is for when your weapon is drawn and your character is auto-attacking an enemy. When you swing your weapon and land a successful attack, you will gain tactical points. TP can be used in order to weapon skill, or if you are a dancer class, for any of your job abilities like waltz. As mentioned in the last video, accuracy and attack are important in this set, as it ensures you land your swing and to make sure it doesn't hit for 0. But Claire, I hear people talk about the magical 1200 accuracy. Is there an easy way to know if I have reached this threshold? Of course there is. In the game, you can use what is called check param. By typing in /check param as one word, this will review the current gear you have equipped and provide you your primary accuracy and attack, or your offhand accuracy attack if you are dual wielding. If you eat food or gain buffs, it will also calculate this for you. That way, if you review content and it says 1200 before buffs and food, you will know if your gear is sufficient in this area. Is there anything else I should be looking for in a TP set? Yes, and let's dive into those different stats and how they can impact a build. Again, please note this is a general reference to these stats and not a specific piece guide. I build sets kind of differently than other users, so please experiment and find what you prefer. Or if you would still like to use those endgame guides, this will help you understand why those people might have picked those certain pieces. The first up I want to talk about is multi-attack. Multi-attack allows you to swing X amount of times in one round. You would think that this stat would be pretty straightforward. The closer I get to 100% of this stat with any type of multi-attack, the better, right? Actually, that's not quite how this works. Multi-attack is actually checked based off of the different types of multi-attack that is equipped. The first check is if you have any Radic weapons or SU4-5 weapons with the augments follow-up attack. Next, it will check for quadruple attack, followed by triple attack, before it checks for double attack. But please note that I haven't even mentioned Mythic Aftermaths. After everything in the list is mentioned previously, will Mythics then be checked? Which means if you put a Mythic Aftermath up hoping for the triple attack from it, you will have to wait for everything else to be checked first, which means you might get a double attack proc instead of the triple attack from your Aftermath. After Mythics is the occasionally attacks X times weapons. Then finishing up the checks is Hasso and Zanshin procs. But how does this checking process even work? Let's go with quadruple attack through double attack. We'll say you're a dancer sub-warrior. You have pieces like max augmented dampening tam with 3% quadruple attack. You're also wearing the Zor Sublagar +1 with triple attack +3% and double attack +5. Since we said we are sub-warrior, that also gives us the double attack trait of 12% because we got our sub-job to level 50 with master levels. The game would first go 3% off of 100%. Throws the dice and goes, no, not high enough. No quadruple attack for you. It will then throw the dice for 3% out of 97%, effectively raising your triple attack success to 3.093%, which isn't that much of a difference, but it is a slight increase without changing the amount of your equipment. Well, the game rolled again and said no triple attack for you. So now you have a 17 out of 94% for a double attack chance. This means the game will calculate it at roughly 18.09%. Again, not a huge increase, but telling the game to calculate your equipment differently. And remember, I'm only equipping 2 pieces here, so I don't even have all the other pieces with multi-attack equipped. So this is a very small example. The second thing I would try to look at is haste. Now, haste allows you to attack faster within an attack round. Depending on your weapon type, it can even look like you're swinging faster than 100 fists. There are 3 different types of haste I want to bring up. The first one I want to talk about is equipment haste, as we are talking about TP sets. Equipment haste caps at roughly 25.6%. As actual gear doesn't show decimals, you will look for roughly 26% in equipment to cap this version of haste. The next common version of haste is through magic. This can be received through white magic of haste 1 or haste 2, but also through songs like March. This haste is calculated separately from your equipment haste and caps at 43.75%. For example, haste 2 and victory march will cap magic haste alone. The third type of haste is ability haste. Ability haste is considered weapon delay reduction, which is also calculated separately from equipment and magic haste. This can cap at 25%. While all three of these are calculated individually with their own caps, there is an overall haste cap of 80%. The downside to this overall haste is anything considered weapon delay reduction will still be calculated and reduce the amount of TP you receive even though you are not attacking faster. Let's put a scenario out there. You have capped equipment haste and the right party setup to cap magic haste as well. This means you have 69.35 haste currently. Great, you are near the 80% cap. You have a dancer in your party that is providing job ability haste through the active haste samba. They have this ability fully merited as well. That means they are giving you an additional 10% job ability haste. Now you are at 79.35% out of 80%. You are so close to that cap without actually going over. Hooray! Now let's change you to, say, any job utilizing dual wield. While I did not mention dual wield in the different types of haste is because it is considered weapon delay reduction through equipment, which means it doesn't quite follow the same caps as either equipment haste or job ability haste. Since it does do weapon delay reduction, it does follow the 80% haste cap and can hinder your TP gain. Let's say you are a main ninja, you still have capped equipment haste and capped magic haste. You naturally have dual wield of plus 35% just for being a ninja. Dual wield does have a specific formula on how it is calculated towards the 80% haste cap. For ease of sake, we will review this wonderful chart that is posted on BG Wiki. If you follow the tier 5 dual wield and say we have capped magic haste, that means we only need 1% of dual wield to cap haste. This also means if we have that same dancer in our party doing haste samba, they would actually be decreasing our TP gain due to going over the haste cap with weapon delay reduction. You can either simply ask the dancer to not use haste samba or reduce the amount of haste in other areas. As dancers themselves also can have tier 5 dual wield, a lot of them don't typically use haste samba unless it benefits other players or they do not have capped magic haste, as you can see if we look further down this chart. Next up, let's talk about store TP. TP is calculated based off of your weapon delay and any weapon delay reductions with a successful attack. For fast weapons like daggers, your TP may not be as high as a great axe or greatsword user. That doesn't mean store TP isn't useful, but is definitely more beneficial for two-handed users than dual wield. To help me calculate how beneficial store TP is in a particular build, I use a program called Final Fantasy XI Calculator. There are probably more up-to-date programs or other calculators that the community has created, but this is the one I know, so I'll show you this one. You are welcome to leave the updated ones in the comments for me or other Final Fantasy XI players to try. With Final Fantasy XI Calculator loaded, click on Statistics, then Delay. Here it will ask you if you have any of the listed jobs. This could be because of some sort of weapon delay reduction, which changes the calculation, or has a completely different calculations like ranged attack. So if you are looking at Great Axe, being a warrior, the main job doesn't have that option. But say you are either sub-samurai or sub-dark knight, you will want to change the sub-job portion. After that is selected, it will ask you what the delay of the weapon you are using. Let's, for example, put in the Empyrean Great Axe, which has a delay of 482. On the right-hand side, you will see a spot that says TP per hit. This is the calculation for your TP gain. Looking back on the left side, you'll see Store TP Plus and a bunch of boxes below it. You can either enter in the Store TP in the following slots as seen on your equipment screen, or you can add it all up yourself and just type it in one box. As you enter in your Store TP, you'll notice the number on the right is changing. This will show you how much you gain, but also how many hits it will take you to reach 1000 TP. So say I put in all the Store TP and I'm at a 4-hit build, but I really want to know how much will get me to a 3-hit. I can plug in numbers to see how much will help me reach that next hit build. Now remember, this will not calculate if you have a multi-attack proc, just if you were swinging one at a time. Which means if you get a multi-hit proc, you will gain your TP that much sooner. After these 3 stats, you can really mix and match how you want to build your TP sets. Thieves will lean towards their critical attack bonus trait by adding in critical hit rate or damage into their builds. Some make sure they have more strength or dexterity in their builds, as strength increases a player's attack with a 1-to-1 conversion rate, while dexterity has a 3-to-4 conversion rate, meaning for every 4 dexterity you will gain 3 accuracy. Now also note that dexterity provides critical hit rate as well too. Please feel free to play around with your build to see what works out best for you. I hope this helps you understand how these stats can impact your TP builds when looking at different equipment pieces. Until the next video, bye bye!